Hello. So it's about 6:30 in the afternoon. The trees are making it look a little bit darker, but it just rained, and I came up here looking for ants. And I'm just gonna do a quick review of how to find a colony. So, for example, these Aphaenogaster. I'm probably butchering that name, but these are Aphaenogaster occidentalis. They've already run into their little holes, but you can see that some of the brood. These often have multiple queens, so they make a great species just to grab a queen and a couple workers and some brood and get started. Sorry, so they're a great beginner species. But I'm just going to do a couple of tips on finding these ants in particular. First of all, you kind of want to have a slope area. You want some leaves on the ground. Look in the summer to spring. Usually any time of the day they'll be under the rocks, especially in a sunny area. But you want it to be on a sloped area with some flat parts. So this is a relatively flatter part on this big slope here. It goes down there. So we're gonna go down there. Now I'm gonna show you a couple tips to finding rocks with colonies under them to make your time looking for colonies a little bit easier, hopefully. So you can see here, this is a dry riverbed. Now, riverbeds will often flood during the spring, so there won't usually be large colonies under any of these rocks at the bottom. But to the sides of the riverbed itself, you can usually find a lot of diversity. So you're going to want to look for medium-sized rocks. Here's my fist for reference. Something about this size. I don't know if this will have a colony under it, but this is basically what you're looking for. And so here's another Aphaenogaster colony. Lots of brood chambers. It's a really cool species in general. There's the queen right there. Very pretty species. So yeah, that's basically what you're looking for. Medium-sized rocks will be the best for this species in particular. The size of rock is actually a great indicator of what species you want. So if you want larger rocks, you're gonna find maybe some Camponotus colonies, some Tetramorium colonies, something like that. But these medium rocks like this, here's another one. Again, medium size. My fist is about a couple times larger than my fist. You're gonna want to look for clear leaves out. That means there's been some foraging or something going on, and you never know. It's usually, sometimes they'll abandon these rocks and there won't be anything under them, but you can just take a look under each one. Nothing under here, just some worms. I usually have the best luck with flat rocks. I'd recommend looking under some flat rocks. Here's a couple good examples of rocks. These are a bit larger, on the larger side, but if you want a larger colony, then these might be great. So fist for reference. We're just gonna flip this guy. And so under here we have what looks to be some kind of Lasius. Really easy species again. Most ants you find under rocks will be the easy species to keep. I'm actually just gonna take a little bit of brood from my own colonies to brood boost. So I'll leave that open. But I always like to return rocks to their position when I'm done with them, just to let the colonies not be too disrupted. This rock, you'll notice these other rocks that have colonies under them, about 2 to 3 inches thick. Some have lichen. This one is lichen, but it's not very smooth. It's not the same type of rock. I'm not sure what kind of rock that is, but this rock right here is a little bit rocky, and it's falling apart, obviously. So again, it's just the type of rock. See, there's nothing under this. So it takes a little bit of practice, but you can usually find, once you get the hang of it, you can usually find the right type of rock. This rock is pretty large. It's the largest one we've tried to flip so far. So you never know with big rocks like this, but we can try it. And look at that. Massive colony of Lasius. Absolutely massive. I do not see the queen, but she could just be underground. But for reference, just look at all those eggs and larvae. It's ridiculous how big this species can get. Very common up in the higher elevation areas. If you ever go up the canyons in Utah, woodland canyons, these Lasius and Aphaenogaster colonies, very common. But again, they make great species to begin with. So yeah, a couple tips: go for medium rocks, relatively flat area, flat rock. You don't want it to be too buried. Again, you want to look for rocks that don't have a lot of debris right in front of them on the downhill slope. So, almost crushed them. Here's another colony. Just found them really easily. Just gotta know what to look for. What type of rocks and what type of day to go out. But yeah, you can see I'm on a slope right now. I like to look next to riverbeds, so again, this riverbed is just running right through here. I'm just going along the side, flipping rocks.